I'm not just the president of Judicial Watch, I'm a citizen, and I, as a citizen, am so excited about our work. One of the other big issues that's really causing a crisis here in the United States are the crime rates. Murders and rapes and so-called criminal justice reform that has allowed dangerous criminals out into the streets to rape, maim, and murder. It's a crisis in our urban areas. It's a crisis all over the place. And Judicial Watch has been trying to highlight these issues through its litigation and FOIA work. And in this case, we've filed a civil rights lawsuit on behalf of a magistrate who was fired for taking steps as a citizen to try to protect the citizens that she's had sworn an oath, I presume, try to protect. We're representing former Virginia Magistrate Elizabeth Fuller against the officials of the Office of the Executive Secretary of Magistrate Services in Virginia for firing her in violation of her First and 14th Amendment rights. So this is a civil rights lawsuit on behalf of essentially a whistleblower. On October 19, 2021, Fuller was fired from her job as a magistrate after commenting to the Alexandria Times as part of a discussion about the publicly available outcome of her own personal 2020 complaint against a bondsman named Nigwin. A man named Ibrahim Elkai Bouachi was arrested and indicted by a grand jury in January of 2020 for a burglary with intent to commit murder, abduction, sodomy, strangulation, and rape of a poor woman named Karl R. Elizabeth Dominguez Gonzalez. And notwithstanding the seriousness of those charges, the Alexandria Circuit Court, Alexandria being a locality here just outside of Washington, D.C. in Virginia, released this predator on a $25,000 bond in April 2020. So he's arrested for rape and attempted murder, abduction, sodomy, strangulation, and he's held for less than, 4 months and released on a $25,000 bond. Compare and contrast that to the treatment of the January 6th defendants. Need I go any further? Less than 4 months after his release, on January 29th, he reportedly drove to Ms. Dominguez's residence, his victim, and shot and killed her outside her apartment complex. I mean, that's the consequence of these soft on crime policies. People get murdered who otherwise wouldn't have been murdered but for specific policy choices by our courts and the politicians who write the laws. And our lawsuit alleges, and this is the key part, in the immediate days following the news reports about Ms. Dominguez's murder, plaintiff, Ms. Fuller, learned from a police officer in the citizen lobby of the magistrate's office, so in the hallway, that the vehicle and gun reportedly used by Bouachi to murder Ms. Dominguez belonged to the surety bail bondsman, Nigwin, who posted the bond for Bouachi's release in April 2020. So the bail bondsman's gun was used and his car was used. On information and belief, the bondsman and the officer struck casual conversation while they were waiting in the lobby when the bondsman said it was his gun and his car that Bouachi used to murder the poor woman. We didn't say that in the release, but in the lawsuit, that's how I'm characterizing it. And the bondsman said he had actually let Bouachi stay at his house while he was away on vacation. So the officer subsequently relayed the information to Ms. Fuller, our client, as part of a casual conversation, basically water cooler a conversation among friendly colleagues. Outside, it wasn't as part of any hearing or any proceeding. It was folks in the hall talking. So, because she's a Judicial Watch client, we tend to take on clients who can't help but do the right thing. On August 6, 2020, in her personal capacity, she filed a complaint with the Commonwealth of Virginia, their Department of Criminal Justice Services Division, alleging that The bondsman violated rules and regulations of his licensure as a surety bail bondsman. And on September 1st, 2020, he lost his license. It was suspended and revoked. And so Fuller thought, hey, it's over. More than a year later, this newspaper, the Alexandria Times, local newspaper, disclosed information it obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request regarding the bondsman's involvement as well as Fuller's complaint, and subsequently approached Fuller for comment in October 2021. So this is a full year after the complaint had concluded. Fuller commented as follows. Newman, who is a bondsman, came to work in the days following the murder, nearly boasting and joking about the fact that the gun and car belonged to him and that Buacci had stayed at his home, the murderer or alleged murderer. Bondsman, I think he's been convicted by now. The bondsman was telling this officer about what happened and almost bragging about it. The officer said to me, "You'll never believe what he just said to me." So I said, "I've got to do something about it." I tell you what, if our public officials, if our court officials, if our politicians, if our media, frankly, if our citizens all took that line to heart, I've got to do something about it. Think how much better off this country would be. Think how many lives would be saved. Think how secure our borders would be. Think of the better freedoms we'd have. I've got to do something about it. God bless Miss Fuller. 5 days after the story was published, on October 7th, 2021, she was placed on administrative leave. So she did something about it and got punished for talking about it. And she was fired on October 19th, 2021. Really a summary firing. It's really outrageous. It was claimed then at the time that she had violated Canon 3, Section B6, that states, "A magistrate shall abstain from public comment about a pending, impending, or concluded proceeding in any court or magistrate's office." In early November 2021, Fuller filed a grievance appealing her termination and asked for reinstatement, which of course was denied. Now we argue that her firing was in retaliation for protected speech, because she embarrassed the court, frankly, and that the judicial canon used to justify her firing doesn't apply to comments made about a public filing made in her personal capacity about a concluded matter. So this is something done in her capacity as a citizen, not as a magistrate judge. So it wasn't about a matter before her. At all relevant times, Fuller was engaged in constitutionally protected speech when she made the comments to the Alexandria Times, which undeniably addressed matters of public concern. Plaintiff enjoys the right of freedom of speech as guaranteed by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. This includes the right to comment to the Alexandria Times on plaintiff's public complaint filed in her personal capacity about the misconduct of a bondsman and its outcome, and the system's failure to protect a rape victim. Remember, that poor woman is dead. And our client tried to do something about it, and the court system punished her by firing her from her job. I'm going to read you what I wrote as a statement because I think it's worth considering. An innocent woman is dead because she was murdered by a rapist who was let out of jail. And so the Virginia court fires the magistrate who blew the whistle on the court bondsman whose misconduct enabled the murder. Our client, Ms. Fuller, is a hero, and she lost her job in violation of her constitutional rights because she embarrassed Virginia officials over their deadly soft-on-crime bail policies. So you hear about these soft-on-crime policies, and we're trying to do something about at least one person who tried to take a stand against it. And the only reason she was even out there in the public was because intrepid reporters at the Alexandria Times was investigating this outrage. I mean, this was a big story locally for a period of time. And they found out that this magistrate had filed a complaint. So she responded in her personal capacity. And she gets fired? So she needs to get her job back in the least. And lots of other things as far as I'm concerned. So I'm honored that Judicial Watch and our attorneys And of course, you know, this is what I love about, that's what I love about Judicial Watch. I get to come on here and do something I'm sure you're all jealous of doing. Getting to talk about the work that other great patriots at Judicial Watch do. I'm president of Judicial Watch, but we've got lawyers and investigators and media folks and our administrative and fundraising, all this team here. And they do all this work that results in disclosures about COVID and Fauci and China, about Clinton, Obama, and Biden, and wonderful, wonderful lawsuits for citizen heroes like our client, Magistrate Fuller, or former Magistrate Fuller, who blew the whistle on misconduct by court officials in the case of the bondsman, who was responsible in part for murder. And we're able to do this work, and I'm able to talk about this great work and be able to direct it as best as I'm able and educate you about it because of supporters, Judicial Watch members, people who write us checks. So I'm unembarrassed and unashamed to ask you for your support. If you like this work, I encourage you to support Judicial Watch. Go to our website, judicialwatch.org. You can give us money on Facebook. You can go all over and give us money. You know how to give us money these days. Because this is the sort of thing that we do with your support. And I'm proud to be able to do it, and it's a privilege to be able to do it. It's like the, you know, I'm not just the president of Judicial Watch, I'm a citizen, and I, as a citizen, am so excited about our work, and I'm sure you are too. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.